In the modern time that we live, there's quite a lot of accounts of near-death experiences. And if you look on the internet, on YouTube or whatever, you can find countless near-death experiences and near-death experience accounts of people that have come close to death and had certain dying experiences, um, and then obviously not quite reached the death point from which there would be no return, um, come back from that threshold, and then have discussed their experiences. Um, One thing that is quite apparent to me is these people haven't died yet, so they're not experiencing the actual beyond realm or the beyond dimension, the death life dimension, if you will, or the creation energy dimension. They are experiencing basically a consciousness related dying experience, so to speak. So therefore, these experiences are often colored by the thinking, feeling, wishes, hopes, and dreams, etc., the unconscious factors, the subconscious factors, and so on of the individual. And it's clear when you watch and learn about a few different near-death experiences from many different people, different walks of life, some of them atheists, some of them Christian, and so on and so forth, different belief systems, worldly or religious belief systems, that their dying experience is biased in the sense that some of them, for example, may experience deceased loved ones, or Jesus Christ, or speaking with God and angels, and so on and so forth. The thing that's apparent to me is that the more neutral the person is that goes through this near-death experience, the more neutral the experience, the dying experiences are. Um, so it's very interesting to look at this cross section of people who report these experiences. Um, they are, for example, nearly dying in many different ways. Some of them have severe car crashes, or they're in surgery, or any kind of an accident or health problem that gets critical. Their life signs, their vital signs come to a near standstill. The term clinically dead is used when there is essentially no observable pulse or heart rate or brain activity. And in these moments, often these experiences are had when essentially the threshold of passing over onto the other side is right near, and and then these consciousness related experiences, I've come to look at them as experiences of the consciousness that are somehow, in a sense, detached from the body. Some of the experiences that people repeatedly report, despite the belief system, despite the accident, or the way of dying or nearly dying, are, for example, the feeling of an awareness, a consciousness that then leaves the body and observes the body from a position high over the body, like in the corner of a room, for example, if it's in a hospital. And and time again, this is experienced that as the person is in this dying stage, this dying process, their consciousness leaves the material body, and many people report that in that out of body state, the perception is basically not limited by the material senses anymore, but nonetheless you can still see, hear, feel, and so on and so forth. But the people that experience this report that the feeling and the seeing and the hearing is far more clear and precise and far-reaching. It's not kind of limited to the physical material senses anymore. This is a repeated experience. Often another repeated account in these dying experiences is that the sense of timelessness that is felt, that somehow the awareness, the consciousness isn't bound in the body anymore. And many people who go through this find themselves in something like another realm or another level of consciousness, however they describe it, but essentially they report a sense of timelessness, love, light, peace, freedom, a sense of security, peacefulness, and so on. This is a repeated experience that is reported. The thing that is interesting to me about this as a student of the creation energy teaching is there are seemingly parallels, many parallels, in some of these experiences, not all of them, depending on how neutral the person is or how evolved the consciousness is. These people experience more or less aspects of, the part of the consciousness that is closer to the creation, so to speak. It's hard to put it into words often because it's something that is kind of an unknown for us when we're in this material body. But essentially, according to the creation energy teaching, we're enlivened by an eternal creation energy swinging wave structure, swinging wave form, energy form, or a part piece of the creation that exists in us and enlivens our body, enlivens our consciousness, forms our consciousness. So essentially, as a human being in the material, we are an expression of the creation energy. Nothing can exist without the creation energy. I couldn't think, I couldn't feel, I couldn't act, and my body wouldn't work. It would be a completely empty cloak with no life force, with no life. So although we think about the creation energy as and the physical body as kind of a separate thing, essentially it's a unity. The body in its own right is a unity. The creation energy in its own right is a unity, and together it's a hyper unity or a total unity. One can't exist without the other. The creation energy can't exist in the material physical realm without a body. The body can't exist without the power of the creation energy, the creation life energy. And this creation life energy and the innermost consciousness of the human being, there are different characteristics that are kind of speak of it or that describe it. The sort of timeless, immortal, dimensionless, totally expansive, like light, soha, truth, existence, love, peace, and freedom, and harmony, and all these things that we can use when we're speaking of the creation energy and the deeper consciousness, the creation energy consciousness. There are a lot of seeming parallels when people are close to death. They're close to that realm, they're close to that side, they're close to the timeless essence of themselves. And at least for me, it seems as if there are parallels there in some of these experiences, depending on how neutral and unbiased and evolved the particular consciousness of the person is that goes through these experiences. So yeah, that was just a few thoughts that were going through my mind, and anyone who's interested in this topic can find information in Billy's book, Rebirth, Dying, Death, and Sorrow, which has newly been translated into English. And there are also countless near-death experience accounts on the internet. There's a lot of literature, and obviously the experiences are very much dependent on the consciousness of the person having the experience. So nothing should be taken with a grain of salt. If we research and study this with an open mind, I think we can learn a lot about the nature of our consciousness, the nature of creation energy, the timeless dimension of the creation, and so on and so forth. It's a very interesting, fascinating topic. So, with that being said, for today, thank you for listening, and Salome.